Things are a little bit different than the first episode. We're going to talk about that, testing out a couple of things. This is more like a beta episode. If you're watching this live, you might be able to check it out, but this might never actually make it to my YouTube channel or anything. I'm just testing out. I want to test out my audio. Today you can see I got this little headset. Nothing fancy, but I'm just trying to see if it's going to pick up my voice a little bit better than just my phone sitting up in the air in my car. And hopefully the audio sounds a little bit better. I noticed on the first episode of the podcast, I was picking up everything, the background sounds of the cars outside. So yeah, things are a little bit different in this episode. That's why it's 1.5. But we're going to check it out. And it's a little bit darker out today. It's raining, so we get a little bit more of an atmosphere here. No need for sunglasses today, so that's a big change. No sunglasses. It feels good though. It's a little bit different, a little bit more mellow. You got the rain trickling down. Kind of actually would be nice if you could hear it. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I'm just testing things out. It's a whole new app too. I was using this different app the other day. I didn't even realize that Twitch has a built-in live streaming app now. So if you want to live stream on Twitch, you just hit a button on some broadcast thing, and then you're good to go. And it sets you all up, and then they just make it easy. I was using another app that it worked well, but I mean, why not just stream right through Twitch? It just makes more sense. And this is also not my real account that I'm streaming on for several different reasons, but mainly because this is just like a beta podcast phase. So I'm going to go back to this, and I'll listen back to this, see how my voice sounds, see how everything sounds. Maybe we'll try it without the microphone, and we'll try it with some other kind of microphone. But I think this is good. I think it feels good. You just got to have this little piece in your ear, and you got this little dangly cord here. That's all you got. Just a generic Bluetooth, well, not even Bluetooth, wired headphones. So yeah, we'll get into a little bit of a discussion. I didn't really have anything planned to talk about today. So I guess we can maybe even go over like what that process would look like then if we want to use that as a discussion. I'd sit down at my desk at work probably, or late at night if I come up with ideas. I'm probably going to make a note in my phone. If you have an Android phone, I mean, I'm sure iPhones have the same similar app, but I like the one on Android a lot because you can even use your pen, your S Pen. You can jot notes down. But yeah, you open that little notepad up, and whenever you think of a good idea, you just punch it into the phone. Or if you have a real physical notepad, you can write it down. But what I do is I have both. So I'll write down my physical notes on my physical notepad, and then I'll transfer them into my digital notepad later, so I can kind of have them on me all the time, because I don't have the notepad on me all the time. So but yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I think we'll come up with ideas for the podcast. So even without having ideas for the podcast, you can make a podcast episode 1.5 beta of the Daily Commute podcast. We can make a whole episode about discussing why we don't have ideas. How do we come up with ideas? What's that process look like? And what it looks like is, sometimes you have nothing to talk about, and that's okay, because guess what? Life is not always exciting. Life isn't always full of, it's not like a movie. This freaking traffic, I'm telling you. Right now, they got some construction going on where I'm driving, and there's a lot of merging. There's a lot of unnecessary, cluster, or it's not even the right word, but a lot of funneling of traffic into a small, narrow area, and I don't like it. So, it causes issues. But right now on the stream, I got 0 viewers, but that's what you got to notice is when you're live, you don't always have viewers. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, but you got to talk like there's people there. So I do appreciate you people not being here, and I do appreciate you being here at the same time. It's like a combination of the two. You never know what you're going to get, but I'm going to change my lanes here. So yeah, we can just sit back, and then we can think about, okay, what kind of topics would we like to talk about? I don't know. I do like stuff like talking about movies, talking about TV shows, but sometimes, I don't know, sometimes people haven't watched a show or a movie, and then, half the audience maybe won't know what you're talking about. But you could talk about the movie in a vague way, where you could kind of promote it and say, hey, if you haven't seen the movie, here's all these points I really liked about it. And you could kind of bring up, spoiler free, maybe you could talk about it, but I don't know. I think a spoiler discussion on a movie or a TV show might be better sometimes, because you can really get into the nitty gritty about, holy shit, did you see what happened to that fucking one guy? He jumped off the roof and then he landed on the baby's carriage, but when they got down to his body, there was really no baby in there. There was actually a bomb, and then everyone crowded around to see if he was okay, and the bomb went off, and then, that was a good movie. You guys probably haven't seen that one. I just came up with it, but there's a lot of ideas like that you can get into when you talk about these discussions. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for an open discussion. It would be better with people in chat, because you could get some ideas. Although I got to come up with a solution for the chat, because guess what? The way that the Daily Commute podcast works is I have what looks to be like a real car. I have like this fake car seat that I bought online, and the seatbelt that I strap myself in. And outside these windows here, I got green screens. So it looks, it looks like I'm in a car driving down the road, but it's really not. I should probably put that in the description that, this is actually all green screened in. I want to say I did it in post, but it's all done live, because you can actually do that with the green screen. You can do it all live. So it's a new idea. I mean, I've seen podcasts before, I think, where they actually do the podcast from the car, but in this podcast, we have the fake car set up in the living room, and then we do it with the green screen on. So I think I like that better. It's a bit more safe, and you bypass all those kind of sketchy laws where it's like, okay, certain states you can't be on your phone, certain states you can. We don't have to worry about any of that because we're actually in our living room. So I do like that aspect of the podcast, where it's kind of like a niche area. I mean, you need a lot of setup equipment. You need the fake car. You got to have the, well, not the whole car. It's only half of a car. It's just not a whole car. So you need half of your fake car with the windows, and then you get the green screen can do everything. You can pump in the sound in the background of the vehicles going by, of the rain droplets hitting the windshields and all that, and then really all you got to do to make it look realistic is you have buttons right here that I hit that it's like I'm turning on blinkers, and then sometimes I look left and right, pretend like I'm changing lanes. And, I look around like, oh, I better change lanes here, You just got to pretend, and then it's more believable when people come back and watch it. So that's another part of the show that I really like, is it's bringing a sense of realism to, an area where people normally don't get to see a guy just pretending to drive a car, talking to a non-existent audience that's, there. So that would be good, though. I could, be like, oh, okay. Yeah, Bob 312, he's saying something about the new Call of Duty. Okay. Yeah, no, I've seen it, and that was really good acting, by the way. But no, he's right. I have seen the new Call of Duty's coming out. I'm a person that's bought every single Call of Duty since Modern Warfare. I didn't buy the last one, although I played the beta quite a bit. I think I got my fix just off of the beta. So, I don't know, did I buy Black Ops 2? I don't remember. But anyways, I haven't bought the last one, probably the last two. And I kind of like that the new Call of Duty, there's no campaign, which, honestly, I never played the campaigns, didn't touch them. I think I played Modern Warfare, I think I played the campaign a little bit. And that's about it. So, hopefully they drop that price down, or hopefully they can, whatever efforts they were putting into that campaign, they can focus that more towards the multiplayer, bring Call of Duty back to the forefront. I mean, it's only gone downhill, I think, as far as I know, for Call of Duty. People just talk about it like it's a joke. So why not try to bring the game back, make it a bit more serious, maybe, do something with it. Who cares if you lose half of your audience? I think you kind of already have, so maybe they can reinvent it. I'm going to keep my eyes open on it, though. Black Ops 4, I think it is, Call of Duty. So we'll see. I could be wrong on the title, name, and everything about what I just said. But I think I'm partially right on some of that stuff, so that's good. But yeah, like yesterday when we did episode 1 of the Daily Commute, the idea just came to me out of nowhere, and I started this whole, I guess I call it a podcast, but I don't even really know. I was thinking about that the other day. Like, you can't just go around calling everything a podcast. Like, I need to look up, like, what is the definition of a podcast? Like, you get some guy in his bathroom on his toilet streaming by himself, talking to, whatever, it's a couple people, and he talks for like an hour a day. I mean, are you allowed to call that a podcast? I guess you are, right? That's a pretty good idea. Maybe that'll be my next endeavor. It'll be my morning, what would that be called? Well, we got the daily commute, so that's fine. That makes sense. And I was going to call it like the morning commute or something like that, or the afternoon commute, but I don't want to be pigeonholed into a certain time of day. I could do this whenever I want. And since I got it set up in my living room with the green screen and that, I can change the time of day. I can do, nighttime, daytime. It doesn't really matter. You can change it. I can actually, right now, I could probably put like clouds in the background, and I could be like, this is the flying car. This is the flying car podcast show. So, but yeah, the toilet one, I don't know. That would be a bit rough. You would have to put some kind of noise gate, I think, so the toilet sounds won't be heard. You would want to hear those. Definitely some noise suppression too, probably for the liquid sounds that you would hear. You don't want to hear any of that kind of stuff. And I definitely wouldn't recommend flushing live, because that would cause a lot of background noise. You'd have to put some kind of gain adjustment on that. What's that called? So if you can hear all these terms that I'm saying, it's because I've actually learned a lot about, basic audio setup for, at least for a microphone, which obviously none of this knowledge that I've learned I can really apply to this. I can probably apply it in post, which is what I plan on doing. So you may or may not hear this audio that's been, made to sound cleaner. There should be a way I can remove any of the background sounds. You'll only hear the loudest sound in the podcast, which would be my voice. So I learned a little bit of knowledge on audio stuff. I probably spent maybe 10, 15 hours dabbling with it. So I could use that knowledge to make the Daily Commute podcast shine and really, bring it to the forefront. So yeah, this is episode 1.5. If you just tuned in, my name is Steve. Call me Steve. On Twitch, I stream as Steve_XM. Still working on getting rid of that underscore. We'll fight for it. We'll get it eventually. I'm also on YouTube, Steve_XM. You can find me. All my links are in the descriptions of everything I do. So just come and check out everything I do. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, whatever else I'm forgetting I'm also on probably. Oh, I'm on Mixer too. I always forget to throw Mixer in there. And no one ever watches me on Mixer though. I don't know. It's a newer platform. It's like Microsoft based. It's like Twitch, but it's like Microsoft's version of Twitch. So yeah, there's that too. But yeah, so far I do like episode 1.5 of the podcast. It's kind of like the beta test episode. We're just testing out different sounds. We're testing out different configurations. And tomorrow I might wear a hat on episode 2.75 or 1.75. Sorry, jumping ahead. Yeah, I might try different things. I don't know. I was liking the sunglasses, but it's just kind of too, I don't know, it might be too dark for the sunglasses today. These are decent tint though, where it's not overwhelming, so we could try it maybe. That's not bad. I'll take them off in a minute. I do like the feel of it. I think it makes my face look more appealing, covering up some of it, which is that's a good thing. It's a bad thing, but at least we know we can work with it. So, but yeah, it's not too bright out today. I mean, I'm one of those people, when I see people wearing sunglasses, I guess I shouldn't judge, because I don't know if they have some kind of condition where it's like they need the sunglasses. But when you're wearing sunglasses inside and stuff, it's just, I don't know. Personally, not to judge, but to judge a little bit. I'm just like, what's going on here? What's the sunglasses for? But some people got weird eyes. Some people, maybe they smoke a little bit of weed, or, they got something going on that day with their eyes. Just in general, they don't want people to see them. So that could be a possibility. Oh, I got my VR set up right now. Or sorry, my green screen, and there's a car accident that I put into the green screen. So we're going to take a look at this guy here. Yep. Looks like a little car and a Hummer. Oh, he's got Bluetooth on too, just like me. So people are honking, people are mad, but sometimes you just gotta slow down for a little bit. Thank God it's on this side of the road though, in my green screen. If I was on the other side of the road, there'd be some slowdown. So, oh great, I spoke too soon. We got a little slowdown here, but it's all right. I can just get out of this car right now and go to the bathroom because this is all my living room. So it would be stressful if it was a real life situation. So, but yeah, I've been debating on changing the name. I like the Daily Commute, but I was thinking the green screen car podcast, but that's just too wordy. So I went with the Daily Commute because I probably should Google search that. That might already be out there somewhere. I'm sure it is. I'm sure I'm just robbing someone's name right now and stealing it. Anytime you name something, I guess the first thing you do is you look up that name. So yeah, that's what it is. Starting to run out of things to talk about, so I might end this early, but I'm gonna try to keep trucking because part of the thing that I'm trying to do here is just see how long it will last. You know, what can you find to talk about next? So far we touched on, let's just go back over, so this might jog my memory a little bit. We talked about how this is the podcast 1.5. There's a couple of different changes. We took away the sunglasses. We changed the audio input into a pair of headphones that actually came with my Samsung phone. I got a Samsung Galaxy Note 8, the new one. Don't know. I think it's the newest one. Highly recommended phone. But yeah, it comes with a pretty sweet pair of headphones. I use these all the time. Unfortunately, they're wired, but they got this nice, it's like a nice, almost like a piece of rope, it feels like. So it doesn't tangle as much. I think that's the whole point of it. But yeah, we're using those. So between that, we even hit up the Call of Duty for a little bit, which I wasn't really even expecting that coming up. That was just kind of a random, came out of nowhere. And then we talked about the difference in the weather. So that's the cool thing about this, is that every day it's going to be different. You never know. Sometimes I might put snow on the background. Sometimes I might do, bright sunlight, so bright that you can't even see through the windows. Today I was feeling more like a mellowed out, chill out. Just put a little drizzly raindrops. Not too much rain to where it makes the road bad. Just good rain. Like if this was outside your window at nighttime, you would hear those little raindrops and it would help you fall asleep. I love falling asleep to a little bit of rain, so yeah, I'm trailing off, but this is how we do it. So I guess we could talk about some upcoming stuff that I wanted to get to. I do still plan to stream Thursday night, which may be irrelevant to whoever hears this, because this might never get posted, or maybe posted weeks from now or years from now, if I just want to do something for fun. But yeah, today is, I don't know the date, 24th. Okay, so it's April 24th, and it's 5:05 p.m. So we're going to be going live in 48, about 50 hours from now, we're going to be going live. So I'll let you do the math to figure out the days on that. It's pretty hard math, but a couple days we're going live. Nothing serious. I just want to get back into some Skyrim. We're going to chill out. I need to really start getting into the story of that game because I've been slacking. I've been just going off and doing side quests and just kind of doing some random shit. But I'm going to get back into that game for sure. And then I'm going to try to do a stream. If not that night, I want to try to do a stream back on my PS4 because I think there's enough variety there. It's enough of a niche area to where you don't see too many people streaming on the PS4. Well, it doesn't really make any sense because a lot of people do stream on the PS4, but I guess you don't see me streaming on PS4 a lot, so it'll bring a little bit of variety. You do the PC gaming, you do the PS4 gaming. Currently, I have also an Xbox One, but I haven't touched the Xbox One so long. Since I got my PC, I haven't touched it once. I'm trying to think if there's any game that I got back on it for any reason whatsoever. The thing about Microsoft, a lot of the games that come out on Xbox One are on PC too. Most recently, notably, Sea of Thieves. Could have played that on Xbox. Great to see that it was cross-platform though. It's awesome. I have a friend that I play with. He's on Xbox. Shout out if you're watching. Thanks for watching, buddy. But yeah, we were able to play. Buddies on PC, buddies on Xbox. We all get together. They're starting to do that with a lot of games. So it's nice to see that cross-platform because everyone's got different, preferences when it comes to consoles or whatever, but, everyone also still likes to get together and play some of the same games. So that's something that's going to be, I think, in the future. And who knows? There's always rumors. Oh, PS4 and Xbox are going to get together and make a combined system, which as soon as you hear someone say that, you just want to smack them. Like, there's so many reasons behind that why it will never happen. But I don't know. I'm sure there's a way that it could actually happen. I mean, you never know. It's possible. Companies buy other companies. It could happen. Microsoft's a pretty big company, but then so is Sony. But if I just had to guess, I probably would say that at this point, Microsoft probably has more money. I mean, they have the PC world, they got the gaming world. Although they don't have the TV world yet, I don't really think they make a TV. And then that's what Sony's got. They got their games, they got their TVs. I'm not sure, they might do some stuff with audio. Who knows, but yeah, so someday we'll all be playing on the same ship at some way or another. It might not be the same system, it might just be cross-platform, but I can see that day pretty soon. And that's kind of what I want to get into too more, is playing with other people. So if there's people that are watching this, right now the games that I would probably play with other people would be either PUBG or, Fortnite. I think I want to get back into Fortnite. I'd listened to that podcast that I shouted out yesterday, the H3H3 podcast. I listened to that, and they had Ninja on there, the Fortnite streamer, who just broke tons and tons of records for viewership and all this other stuff. They discussed his, playing with Drake and all that. It was a really good podcast. I highly recommend going and listening to it. H3H3 podcast, Ninja. That's all you got to type into either Google or YouTube. I'm sure it'll come up. It's like an hour and a half. It was a quick listen. But yeah, just even hearing about the game a little bit more, it kind of does make me realize, like, maybe I didn't give that game as much attention as I should have. I mean, I should check it out more. Because I did notice when I played it, compared to PUBG, the matches seem a little bit quicker. And yeah, it's cartoony. And I don't like the third-person view. I love playing, when I play PUBG, I'm first-person only. I don't like being able to see around walls and that. But the thing about PUBG is it tries to be realistic. So it's like, okay, let's be realistic. But guess what? You can't see around walls because we're trying to be realistic. But Fortnite, I think it kind of just throws all that out the window. I mean, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's cartoony. It's high energy, definitely. So I don't think I minded as much in Fortnite, the fact that, it's third person, you can see around walls, whatever. We already got all this other crazy shit going on. It's just so hard to believe that we're viewing a character in third person and we can see around walls and shit. So, but yeah, it's a good game. I'll probably get back into it. My goal will be, when I do get back into it, maybe I'll stream it Friday. Maybe that's what I'll do. Thursday night we can do Skyrim. Friday night we can maybe do a variety stream, and then getting into Fortnite late in the night. Because I want to try to get a solo win. I've never gotten a solo win on Fortnite yet. And I'm getting pretty good. I've got second place a couple times, I think. At least once, for sure. But, yeah, solo win would be good. Because PUBG, like, once you get that first solo win, and it took me forever. It took me literally, this is kind of embarrassing to say, it took me, I think, 60 hours of gameplay to get my first solo win in PUBG. I don't know what the stats are on what the average is for that, but I would assume that I was a little bit behind on average, or maybe not. Maybe some people never get them. I don't know. But I got 280, maybe 288 hours of gameplay on PUBG, which is a lot of freaking hours. So that would be 10 days, because 240 would be, so it's over, so let's do the quick math. So let's say it was 240 hours, that would be 10 days. Then you add another 24, well, we'll just round it. We'll do 25. So it'd be boom, boom. All right, we're going to give up on the math. We'll say it's 12 days of gameplay. So 12 days of my life went into playing PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. Do I regret it? No. Well, no. Maybe a little. But, so yeah, I got like 20 wins with that game. And that's an over-exaggeration for sure. I probably got like 7. But I feel like it's more like 12 or something like that. I don't know. The stats are kind of hard to track in that game. That's my excuse, so I can kind of inflate my numbers a little bit if I want. But yeah, compared to Fortnite, I went from playing all those hours of PUBG, probably like 200, and then I went to play Fortnite, which I probably have less than 10 or 15 hours on. And right away, as soon as I started playing Fortnite, all my skills carried over from PUBG. So if you're someone that's played PUBG and you're ever thinking about checking out Fortnite, oh, you're going to do good. I mean, I did really good. I made the top 10 a bunch. Situational awareness you learn from PUBG really well, which seems like Fortnite players are not very good with, which is funny because they have third-person view. Merging in a green screen. Let my ass in now. Alright. So now that that's over with, this freaking green screen, I don't know. I invested a lot of money in my green screen. I built a green screen from scratch. Initially, I went to the dollar store, and this is for anyone out there that's thinking, okay, green screens are expensive. I didn't even know how they worked. I looked up on the internet one day, green screens. I was like, can you make your own green screen? Like, I didn't know how they worked. It's like, it's just a colored screen, and then the computer does something weird where it removes the image. Well, I'm going to explain in a nutshell, like an idiot, what green screens do and how you can actually get one for pretty cheap. So yeah, all the computer does is there's like a built-in thing called chroma key. It's built into a lot of the visual programs that you get to have, you know, media capture from cameras. And you can actually have, it doesn't have to be a green screen. It could be a black screen. It could be a blue screen. It could be an orange screen. So what it does is you're going to pick whatever color you want. You can literally pick any color, and it'll remove all that color from the image, from the video that it's capturing. So it removes all that color, and then it allows you to mess with that, the areas where that color was. You can do whatever you want to those areas. You can apply something in the foreground, the background. If you ever worked with an imaging program where there's layers involved, you know, you can do thousands of layers, but let's say we got 3 layers. You could put something in front of something, something behind something. It allows you to do that with your body. So that's why when you got a green screen behind you, that's what I do sometimes when I play games. I can now have the game behind me instead of just my wall of my house. So yeah, and you can have any color you want. So I went to the dollar store, or for anyone, you know, that's what it's called, I think, Dollar Tree. There's other stores out there that are similar. If you got one near your house, you could probably even go to Walmart or something like that. But I bought, they were 60 cents each. They were these giant green cardboard pieces of paper. And I just taped them together with duct tape. You know, I made it look nice and set them up, and I turned the camera on, and sure enough, it freaking worked perfectly. So yeah, you can definitely do a green screen. I kind of wish I would have picked like a blue screen though, because my headphones have a lot of green in them, and they look funny when I'm on green screen because it cuts out that part of the headphone. So it's like it's a ghost, and you can actually see the gameplay that's behind me in the headphones. So it's a little weird. But you can do a blue screen, but hey, it was cheap. I bought those. I bought a couple other, I don't know, I probably spent $12 on the first green screen, which is kind of a lot. And as I just recommended building one, hopefully someone didn't just like turn the podcast off and go out and build their own. Don't build your own. I bought one online for like $15, like an actual fabric one, and it works amazingly. And it's big, it's huge. So it's actually more expensive to build your own, I think. You can find some pretty cheap ones online. Now, if you wanted to make, you know, like a 20 by 20 wall, if you actually wanted to tape the things to your wall somehow, that would probably work really good. If you didn't mind like a permanent, cheap green screen, do that, you know, get the green pieces of paper and tape them all to your wall, and essentially you can turn your whole wall into a green screen. And then while you're dancing around your room to whatever kind of music you'd like to dance to with your, you know, underwear on, you can have like a star field behind you, or a bunch of puppies, you know, all snuggling up with each other. You can have whatever you want behind you in the image. And then when you go to upload it to YouTube, it's, you know, it just brings up the visual quality. But the only trick about the green screen that you got to remember is you need the lighting. So that's where it can get a little tricky. And my green screen still looks like crap. So I'm actually debating on stopping to use it for a while, because I always spend so much time before I stream setting it up. I have these cheap little lights I bought from Walmart for $5, LED lights. You got to position them in such a way, you know, it's a pain in the ass. I got to get the real lights, because the lighting has to be consistent across the surface of the green screen. That's the only way that it'll work right, or else it'll be all fuzzy and make shit look stupid. So, yeah, you got to remember you're going to invest in lighting too. But it's besides the point because my green screen looks like crap most of the time, and it takes so long to get set up. I usually, when I go to stream, it's like, all right, let's go stream. Let's set my green screen up, my shitty homemade thing. And then I get so stressed out setting it up. By the time I get streaming, it's 20, 30 minutes later because I'm trying to get it, perfected. And you get the heat of the lights on you, too. It's just like, God damn, these things are hot as a mug. So, it gets hot in there. And without the green screen, I think it'd be a lot better. So, but that's just part of it, Sometimes you don't need that fancy stuff. I don't think you do. There's people that stream without cameras. I personally like the camera. I think personally, me going out there, if I was ever to scroll through Twitch or whatever it is, YouTube, Facebook, if I'm seeing someone playing a game with a camera versus without a camera, I think I would watch the person with the camera. Probably just my personal preference. So that's, I like to base the things of what I do off my personal preference. And I've done that a lot through my life. Like, anytime that I worked at, like, a pizza place or even if it was at, like, I worked at, like, a Tim Hortons once. Ooh, another car accident. These people can't handle this green screened rain. It's too much for them. But anytime I worked at a restaurant, they teach you how to make the food a certain way. And they want you to make it that way. So it's like, okay, I'll make it your way. But I always like to make things the way that I like. Like, if I think it tastes better this way, I'm just going to serve it to the customers that way. Because, of course, my taste has to be the taste that's right? That's the thought process behind it. We all think that, the way that we perceive the world, the way that we taste things, feel things, that's got to be the way that everyone else does too, right? That's got to be the best way. But oftentimes, that is not the case. I'm sure the company didn't like that when I was putting large amounts of cheese all on the crust. And like pizza, you put a little bit of butter on the crust, you put a little garlic salt on the crust, a little bit of Parmesan cheese, there you go, boom. Now you got super crust. So yeah, I would do stuff like that. And, that's cost, that's ingredients. But guess what? When that customer goes to bite into that crust, they're going to be some happy people. So yeah, this was the test stream 1.5, episode 1.5 of the Daily Commute, a.k.a. the Green Screened Car Ride podcast. I'm actually going to be finishing this up here because I just want to end it now, and I think it's a good time. But yeah, hopefully everything looks better, sounds better. The glasses will be making a comeback. I'm just only going to wear them when it's needed because, I don't know. I can see fine with these on right now. It's not that bad. Do I think it impairs my vision slightly? Maybe slightly, but I think it's worth it, right? No, I can see fine with these on, but I'm against wearing sunglasses unless the sun is actually out. Sun's in the freaking name, so. But yeah. So it was good, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking it out. If this ever gets posted, it will. But yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Steve _XM Twitch, Steve _XM YouTube. Pretty soon we're getting rid of that underscore, so maybe just search Steve XM. And I'll be posting some stuff. I'll be going live Thursday night, Friday night, and hopefully you guys will join me. Check it out. Check out what we're doing. Maybe check out some new icons that are coming out soon. Some new logos I've got in the works. We can talk about that a little bit, actually. I came up with this idea for a logo today. It's like, I try to do my name, Steve XM. I like the Mega Man theme. I thought it was pretty cool. Who doesn't like Mega Man? It kind of lets people know, yeah, I got respect for the old school stuff. A lot of the games I play are going to be the new games, but it's like a throwback, so I thought it was cool. I tried making my name into Mega Man. It'd be Steve XM, but in the Mega Man font. But it was just too hard, a pain in the ass. So I got a new logo I thought of that we'll see if it comes out. We'll see. That's coming up. So stay tuned. Look out for the new logo. Look out for the Skyrim VR stream. We're going to get back into Fortnite. I was inspired by the H3H3 podcast and Ninja to at least give it another shot. Although I want to get back into PUBG too, but it's just too many games. There's too much shit to play and so little time. So that's my situation. I need to invent a machine where you can go into and just slows time down. It's like that episode of Dragon Ball Z where you get in there, slow everything down. You could spend 20 years in there playing PUBG, and you come out one day later. It's literally day one. PUBG just came out yesterday. People are playing on PC like, whoa, what's this brand new game PUBG? It's only been out for a day. You come out there, you fucking slaughter people. You've been playing it for 20 years straight. You know all the freaking spawns, everything. So that's a good idea for a movie. But yeah, I'm ending the stream now, guys. So thanks for stopping by. We'll check you out later. I don't know how to end this, so this is going to be awkward. Edit this part out. Bye-bye. Toodles.